So today I'll show you guys how to create a cinematic scene with stuffs in the house and how to color grade it. This is before and this is after. How's it going, people? Welcome back to another new video and thank you for tuning in again. So I think most of you guys are not colorists who deal with only color grading. Probably most of you guys are or will be the general filmmaker who have to do like writing, directing, shooting, editing, color grading all by yourself. You know, I've been doing a lot of color grading tutorials on DaVinci Resolve, but I've just realized that I need to do a video about, you know, how I make a cinematic scene and actually how to, you know, color grade it. Not only the tutorial in DaVinci Resolve, the real world process before the post. But at the same time, if you just started filmmaking lately, I guess you didn't have a lot of gears, especially the huge, you know, studio light. So today I'm using living room and stuffs in my house, not using the, you know, studio equipment. I'll show you how to make a cinematic scene and later how to color grade it in DaVinci Resolve. So the living room of this house is pretty normal. Also, there are two big windows and the table and chairs. Well, this time there is no huge story, but definitely we should have the mood, vibes for color grading. So I'm going like this. The man is working at like 3 or 4 p.m. like anyway, like evening vibes. And I'm thinking the total, you know, feel is like relaxing, chilling, creamy, soft and gentle. Like this scene will make you feel like calm, like comfortable, like peace. Okay, let's get started. So I will be sitting right here, but first let's move this table a little bit. Like place this table a little bit away from the back wall to separate the main object from background. You know, the easy way to get a cinematic feel is the, you know, shallow depth of field. So definitely I will be using f2.8 and adjust the position and the angle, the focal length, and not too straight to the camera, and the soft light will hit the right side of a face and the left side will be kind of darker, expecting a good shadow here. And the focal length, later when I edit this, I might change the aspect ratio or zoom in, zoom out, or, you know, pan. So anyway, I'm gonna set the focal length a little bit wider than the focal length I'm actually going with. So about this window, I'm gonna shut the curtain completely, block the light as much as possible, but open the curtain for this window. But important thing when you use the natural light is diffusing. The diffusing is, you know, make the light softer. The sunlight is so strong and harsh at this moment. So using this something like lace curtain, lace, like this white like stuff. If your window doesn't have this, something like bed sheet also works. Also to make kind of spotlight feel to the main object, which is myself, I'll adjust the position of those curtains a little bit, you know, make them narrower, not like full open. And the camera setting is shutter speed 1 of 100 and f2.8 and ISO 800. And the white balance is custom 5500 Kelvin and 2 steps above from the center point, which is a little bit like yellowish, like orangish, something like that. So now it's looking pretty good because we shot this side, the key light is so emphasized and it's creamy and soft, and the left side of our face has a good shadow. But there is one more thing that we can do to make this scene more cinematic. So I'm gonna use this normal furniture light. It could be anything as long as it's light. I'm just gonna place it behind me and light this bar table kitchen. Yeah, not weird, natural. Yeah, this could happen. Well, that's important. You know, don't make a crazy scene which never happened. But this, you know, it might happen. Some people might place the light here, so it's natural. And make sure the position, the relationship between me and this light is right. But now it's a little bit weird because the light is too close to me. So I adjusted the position of desk, camera, the light, and also I opened this curtain slightly to get more light in this room. So this is before the adjustment. Just normal, nothing interesting, nothing special living room. But after, the good soft light is hitting the right side of his face, and there is a good contrast in this room, like this side to this side. The light is getting weak, good mood. So next, moving to color grading. Alright, so this time I think I'm gonna go very easy and simple way. So the balance of exposure and the color are very good. So I think I have to do less about this image. But the main theme this time is a creamy, like a soft mid-tone, right? So I'm not gonna go with a high contrast image, but I need Artlist. So I'm gonna boost this contrast slider and the pivot. Good. And I'm gonna bring this offset to get the light overall. And what's important this time is this gamma. So I'm gonna crank it up to get more like a creamy, mid-tone light. And bring down the lift. Okay, we're gonna stay right here. And look at the parade. The highlight is too much, so I'm gonna bring this down. Good. Also look at the parade. There is a gap here, shadow. It's kind of too faded. Like we don't have the shadow enough. But I don't want to make it crushed. So using this log shadow and bring this down. So this is it for this node. So next on this node, I'm gonna do the saturation thing with the primaries. But first thing first, saturation slider goes up, just like this. And the red, the orange is kind of too much around the mid-tone area, around here. So using this gamma, I'm gonna reduce it by moving this point toward blue. Amount of change is good. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. So moving to the next node, here I'm gonna use those log wheels to create the look I want this time. So the shadow part is shifted kind of red, like magenta side. So I wanna make it a black, just pure black. So moving this shadow point to kind of blue side, I'm gonna reduce the red from shadow. And moving this mid-tone to kind of blue side. And instead of it, I'm gonna shift this highlight to blue side to emphasize, this window, clean window light more. So I'm gonna move this to blue side. Okay, like this. And also using this hue versus hue, I'm gonna, reduce the magenta feel from this image. So I'm gonna move this point a little bit down. This is also for skin tone. And I'm not gonna use qualifier to, pull the skin out. So this is my skin tone, fixing. And hue versus saturation, I'm gonna gain more colors on face. Boost just a little bit, like this. So next thing what I'm gonna do is to give a little bit more light for his face. So I'm gonna use this window mask and cover his face and add blur. And going to this curve and bring it up. And also using this mid-tone detail, I'm gonna lower this to make it more creamier. Get the softness on the face. Good, like before, after. The huge difference. So next I'm gonna use again this window, but this time I'm gonna use this pen tool and do something like this. Like actually draw the window light with this pen. And again going to curve, bring it up just a little bit, not too much. I think this is just fine. Good, so I'm gonna blur this out. Like blending. Just a small difference, but before, after, before, and after. See, there is a kind of spotlight feel because of this mask, this like artificial window light. So next on this node, I want to make this side a little bit darker to get more contrast between this side and this side. So using this tool, again mask, I'm gonna cover this area just like this and going to this curve and bring this down. See, I'm gonna do like this. Yep, and blur it. So this is before, after. So now actually I want to add one more node, and this one is for this side of this image. So like I did before, I'm gonna create this mask again and cover this side. And what I'm gonna do for this side is bring this curve up. Blur. So before, after. But more than that, this mask is for the mid-tone detail. So I'm gonna bring it down to make this window light more softer and gentle. Yep, good. I think I'm gonna go up a little bit more. Like this. Before, after, before, after. I just did a little bit of adjustment to make this image a little bit more brighter, but pretty much this is it. So I'm gonna turn off all of this and I'm gonna take the journey of all processes we did to get this look from this flat log. Enjoy. Okay, that's it. So again, I gotta say this. I didn't use any fancy big studio light to make this scene. Only what I used is the furniture light and natural light. You know, stuffs in my house. Of course, color grading was huge. It actually made the flat log footage alive. But more than that, creating the mood on the set before the color grading is more important. Because there is a limit in the post, so have the story, at least the mood you want to express. Later with color grading based on your idea, just bring the color back to the image. Okay, this is it. If you have any thoughts, questions, don't hesitate to leave the comment below. So today's topic is pretty much it, and thank you for watching this video. If you like this one, show me a thumb and hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. いくよ。いや、さっき冒頭で言ったかわかんないけど、暑いから全部屋エアコンつけてんだけど、めっちゃ喉枯れたわ。めちゃくちゃ喉枯れて。で、この前にカラグレのチュートリアル撮ってたんだけど、そこでもう喋りすぎちゃったから、このボディパートを撮るときにはもう声がめっちゃカレカレだった。8月ももう終わりますが、9月に山行くんで、その時の動画もお楽しみに。よし。